Hello everyone, Denise Carpenter from lotuswings.ca here, and today we're going to continue on with the playlist Conversations with Denise. And today I'm joined by Monique, or Moe Rosteius, who has just taken her Animal Reiki certification, and that's what we're going to talk about today. But Moe, before we start talking, are you okay if we remove these masks?
Yes.
It just gives such a better audio without the masks on. So how exciting is this?
This is really exciting.
Yes, so you have been a human Reiki practitioner for 2 years here at the Lotus Wings building, 30 North Street in Perth. And what prompted you to do the Animal Reiki training?
I have always had a really big connection with animals. I used to talk to them when I was a kid all the time, and I have just had a very huge connection to animals in nature, and I always knew that this was something that I wanted to do. Beautiful. And to be able to help them is just, it's a gift.
Wonderful. So how do you go about what does the training involve, and how do you go about taking it?
So I learned through Christine Noble-Seller. She's in Kingston, Ontario. She's fantastic. And what I did is I started with an Interspecies Communication Course, which really opened my eyes to the frequency of nature, not just the human resonance with Earth, but how nature speaks to us all the time, and how we can sometimes expect nature to come to our level, but it's kind of up to us to go to theirs.
Okay.
So it facilitates better communication when you do that. And then I ended up taking the Animal Reiki training with her.
Okay.
And I've got to tell you, it's just been mind-boggling. Like, I've been doing Reiki with humans for a long time, and it's similar, but it's not quite the same. And one of the things is that, like, humans will come to me and say, hey, I would like some Reiki.
Yes.
And I'm like, sure. But animals can't say it the same kind of way, but they do. It's with their body language. That's why they come to me, because they're drawn to me. And I offer it to them, and it's up to the animal to accept it.
Okay.
So what people don't want to do is be like, go see Moe. You have to go see Moe. No.
Oh, so when you're doing the session, then the owner can't.
Well, they can, but it's not doing anything. It's like trying to make a cat have a bath, you know, like, it's not going to happen.
Yes.
So if you just let me be, and then the animal and I discuss, and if they want it, they will come to me and accept it. I start with hands-off Reiki.
And is this in the person's home?
Yes,
so
I do distant and in home.
Okay, so someone would call you.
Yeah.
You would go into their home.
Yeah.
Okay, and then?
And then I would, you can tell me all about your animal and what's going on, and if there's anything, like, you know, I'd like to know if there's fear, aggression, and things like that that are happening. But I'm basically going to hang out, sit on the floor or in a chair, and they're going to come to me. They're going to sniff me out. They might bark at me a little bit. And then usually I start with hands off to let them know what I'm offering. Yeah. And then they will accept it or they won't. I have only had one instance where an animal was very anxious and wasn't quite sure, even though his sister, who was a cat, was getting it and loved it. This dog was just not quite sure. So I did the rest of that from a distant session, and the owner told me that she found, like, really big changes happening pretty quickly.
Because that's a lot then. Because I find animals can see energy often. So if the animal's seeing you channel and a stranger you in the house, that might overwhelm them a bit then.
Yeah.
Okay.
So in those instances, if I start at the house and it doesn't work, then we can switch and I can do it from distant.
Beautiful.
It's not a big deal.
So when would someone call you? What would you go in and help the animal with? So
Reiki is really good for energy strengthening, for clearing, for balancing. And since animals are masters of energy, they feel and sense a lot more than we do. Yeah. So if your dog is having something physical going on, say they're about to have surgery, or they're coming home from surgery, or they're at surgery, if they're hurt physically, like you need to go to a vet, I want to say that I don't take care of that kind of stuff. I help with the balancing of the energy after. And once they, like one of my dogs, he has Lyme disease and arthritis, and he's 12 and a half, Buddy. And I Reiki him often, and within a few minutes he can get up and run around with the other dogs again once he's feeling a little bit better. So I do Reiki him often, and it really seems to help with his pain as well. Okay. So things like that. If your dog's too anxious or having really bad separation anxiety or is overly barky, again, Buddy being a mutt, I think he's Collie, Shepherd, and Husky. Yes. So he loves to bark. He's very chatty. And after I Reiki him often, like a few days in a row, his barking will really calm down. Wow. So it helps with things like that. And then transitioning, you know, coming to a new home, or even that animal inviting another animal into that home. Exactly. Or the death of an animal or a person. Yeah. Again, they're transitioning to the other side, things like that. Yeah. That is when you might want to call me to help with that kind of energy balance. I'm also thinking of, like, if it's for any species, like if they have babies, like as they go through that whole birthing process, and then there's that whole separation of them and their babies. So that, and then for the puppies or the babies as well, being separate from the mother, it could help balance that. Absolutely. When I got my younger dog, I picked him from a litter, and I asked the mother dog if she didn't like everyone, and she really liked me, and they were just shocked. And I asked her if it was okay if I took Clyde home. Yeah. And she actually put her paw on my foot. Aww. And the grandmother at the home was like, actually, she's just staring at you. Yeah. Like, yeah. But we had I respectfully asked if I could take one of her babies, and that's really important. Respect for the animals. For the animal. Want respect. They deserve respect. Well, absolutely. Yeah. Absolutely. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, and so I do in person or distant. So and it's not just dogs and cats. I can do feathered friends, snakes, turtles. I'm thinking horses. Like a lot of people have. I have Reiki'd a few horses. You'll go to a barn. I will. Yeah. I've gone to stables where they're kept. I've gone to their own barns, and they're actually really expressive. And the first time I ever Reiki'd a horse, I was shocked at how quickly she was like, "Oh my God, you can hear me. This is great." Yeah, and she had a lot to say, and I picked up on stuff that it just seemed natural, and the owner confirmed a lot of things, but I was able to try to help her and her owner understand each other a bit better, and work through some of the emotional pain that she's gone through, because she was a racehorse. So she had a lot of stuff. Okay, exciting. Now, if someone wanted to get a hold of you to book, what would a session? First of all, how would they get a hold of you? And then what would a session look like? Like, would you do a weekly, or how many would you do? All of that. Yeah, so I offer individual sessions, if you like, just to try it out. But I also offer packages, because I find it really helpful if I Reiki 3 to 4 times in a row, like days in a row, and then a week after. And then it's really important for the owners to let me know if they've noticed any changes or any improvements, and then we can focus on what we need to focus on. So you can get a hold of me at Momentous Reiki, which is MOMENTOUS Reiki, REIKI. .ca, and everything's on my website, including my pricing and my packaging. So I do packages because I find it more helpful to do it in a row. So the packages are discounted from the individual prices, and you can have a smaller package or larger package. It's all on there for you to check out. And how far will you travel for an in-person? So you're I'm in Carlton Place. Yeah, and I will travel. I actually go to Gananoque often, and which is how far time-wise? Hour and a half. Yeah, but I do ask for an extra $20 charge after 45 minutes away from my home, because gas is what gas is. Astronomical right now. Exactly. Yeah, good. So that is helpful. Okay, and then to do the remote sessions, you can be basically anywhere on the planet. All I need is the name and location of your animal, and I also require a photo of your animal with very clear image of the eyes. It helps me connect a lot better, and I also like to know what time of day that they're more relaxed. They're more likely to be sleeping, or it's fine if they're running around. It's just they're going to be feeling some stuff. So it's sometimes better if they're resting or sleeping. So I do those distant ones at night often when we know the animal's going to be just relaxing. And it's very important that you keep some water available for them, as they might be thirstier than normal. Just like with humans, when we have our energy balanced, it makes us very thirsty or very hungry or very tired. So you want to be able to have the water there for them if they need be. And when I do in-person sessions, it's not a person, so they can get up and walk away and come back and do their thing. It's completely up to the animal.
Excellent. And I know we're just about out of time, but just the thought of, I'm just thinking of chakras, and maybe you can come back and do another video about animal chakras, but do they have the same chakras as humans?
Well, they do. We focus on the main 7 ones with Reiki sessions, but they also have, this is Harry, and I do distant with him. They have chakras on their paws, which are called buds. B-U-D-S.
Oh, I love it.
It's just adorable.
Oh.
And those help keep them grounded.
Okay.
And then they have other ones at the top of their ears and on their nose as well.
Well.
Yeah, that's why animals don't like being touched on the top of their head and nose, in my opinion.
Yeah, fair enough.
Because that's where a lot of their energy is.
Okay, so would you come back and do another whole talk about animal chakras and how all of that fits?
Yeah.
Oh, and then just another question that's kind of so if their human is having a chakra blockage or problem, whatever that may be, does it often show up in their animal as well?
It does. They're very sensitive and they're attached to us for a reason. So they're part of our lives. So if the person is very stressed out, then the animal can be very stressed out.
Okay.
Often they're here to support us. It's just like when they're ready to pass, sometimes they don't go as quickly as they want because the human isn't ready, or the animal feels the human isn't ready.
Yeah.
So that's where this can come in and help.
Oh, wonderful. Wonderful. Okay, so you're going to have to come back and we have to talk some more about these things. Okay?
Absolutely.
So thanks for coming in today.
Thanks for having me.
Oh, wonderful. If you found this helpful, please like and subscribe to my channel. Thank you for joining us today. And I think there's way more to learn in this area. And namaste. We'll see you next time.